investment.
Now, which agencies now are we talking about that will be most affected by, you know? Oh, Vincent, do you want to say something?
Well, there is no agency that will be most affected. It's Nigeria and Nigerian people. You know, where it's not just about IOC or oil operators. It's all the sectors, because this is a sector, of course, that where our budget is, that finances our budget. So anything that happens in that sector that make government revenue to drop significantly will affect all that, including public workers. And that's why we're saying at this point, the reason why organized private sector is more concerned is that at this point, when the oil and gas sector is facing both local or domestic and international challenge, we are presenting both physical and non-physical terms in the oil and gas industry that will almost kill the sector. We are saying it's not reasonable. Okay, and so for example, in the current situation now, I'm taking a bureaucracy for JVs, the joint venture contracts. Yes, it takes between 4 to 6 months for any simple contract to be signed or to pass through, because government and all the in countries like Angola, 2 weeks. These have passed. These are issues. Of course, oil is everywhere. These guys, they have alternative. In like alone, we have Mozambique, even Ghana behind us here. Oil is everywhere. They have choices, and some are already moving. So our position is that it is more reasonable that you come to a middle ground, where it is better that you take maybe 10% of 100 than taking maybe 0% of 10.
Before now, the government has actually met with stakeholders, and they've tried to, reach an agreement on how it will benefit both parties. And you already spoke most about it, to Lokpe. But then again, we still have this issue that the bill needs to be created. The components of that bill has to be such that will benefit every party concerned. And so, what can be done to create such a bill without anybody feeling like they've been shortchanged?
I think, and this is going to be very interesting, I think my answer to that will be a direct plea to the National Assembly. They should go back to 2000 when President Obasanjo initially commenced this. Yes. They should also go back and look. I think there was another amendment to that draft bill. But more importantly, there's some fundamental terms of the present legislations which they must pay attention to in this PIB. And let me just take one of them. It is what is called the investment tax credit. Now, I'm not sure whether you're aware that itself has created or has generated a lot of controversy, some of which is in court today, perhaps. Now, the investment tax credit appears complex, but it's very simple. It's just a tax credit that you get on any capital expense, which satisfies what is called the when test, that is the wholly, exclusively, and necessary. Now, why is that incentive, and it's an incentive, why is that incentive very important and very crucial to the IOCs? It is crucial because it is 50% of what you have incurred in terms of capital expenditure. And let me also try and break that simply. It reduces your tax liability by 50%. So what that means is that less revenue goes to the government and more money is in the pocket of the IOCs. Okay,
now Vincent, in the report that LCCI actually did, your department did, it talked about how this might affect the economy. Could you just highlight some of this concerns for us?
It's simple. Just for example, this year, over the last 10 years, we've seen President presenting his budget to the two houses of assembly around between October and November. Today is December 10. The bill is not yet presented, and everything is anchored on the controversy regarding what government is taking, price and quantity from. So this sector is very, very important. That anything that happens to it, the economy will have problem, at least for now, until we diversify our economy. Again, gas is carrying a whole lot of load right now. We are very much passionate about gas. It's carrying out, if anything happens to the gas, our aspiration to reform, I will just privatize the power industry, to reform the generation will very, 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 very bad. And we think that government should look at gas policy as containing the draft PIB as an engine of growth and not a cash cow. If they look at that if they look at it from that perspective, that helps the economy. But if we leave the PIB the way it is now, there's going to be serious disincentive for for gas to thrive, there is need to incentivize the operators.
Okay.
Because they have a choice on whether to pay penalty for not producing gas or to produce, depending on the physical realities. Now, the most important thing here we're talking about is that the PIB, the way it's crafted today, both physicals and non-physicals. Let me give you an example of one of the major non-physicals. The PIB, as it crafted today, doesn't even talk about sanctity of contracts. If you pass it today, what happens to the terms of contract that were arrived at before the PIB? No mention was done. The new national company, national oil company that will emerge is going to be a partner or an operator. It's a regulator, and it's also a dispute resolution body. This is complex, and some other issues concerning the power of the minister and the president in allocation and award of. So these are big issues, and we feel that because it is very important, we want the right thing to be done. We want all Nigerians to smile when this bill is passed. And our simple suggestion is to get an independent analyst, whether it is local or international, that will be suitable and acceptable by all parties, government, legislators, the private sector, to come and look at this bill and its entirety and come at a middle point.